Thank you. My name is Bill Zehme, and let me tell you some things I know to be absolutely true about our guest tonight, Miss Tracey Ullman. Clearly, she is never alone. People live inside of her. And then they'll burst right out of her, explode. Kind of like Linda Blair in The Exorcist without the green stuff. Anyway, she is a special import, a British spy with a license to steal your soul and your voice. She's always watching us, ready to make fun. She is nothing but fun, and she is nothing but right here, right now, Miss Tracey Ullman.
It won the song.
It's a little
trivia.
It's her theme song, isn't that? I think it is. You've been here 18 years in lovely Los Angeles.
I have, yes.
And so it begs the question. You never much liked L.A., and yet here we are.
I do now.
You
yeah,
do?
I really do. Because I worked on it with my therapist for a long time. I feel really special and strong about me. No, I do now. I'm kind of used to it, you know. I've always spent part of my year in England. I've never given up my home there.
Your daughter Mabel is almost 16. Is that possible?
Almost. It's unbelievable.
Now let's think about where you were when you were 16.
Berlin.
You were. You had already, in fact, before that, studied and gotten kicked out or something of an academy, the Italia. What was it?
The Italia Conti
Academy.
Stage School.
What was that? Well, what did you do there, Tracy?
Well, we didn't sort of break into wonderful, sort of unrehearsed, choreographed routines in the hallway like Fame. You know, it was... I thought it was going to be like Fame, and it wasn't. It was just a lot of, like, children that had been in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. You know, and, like... now are really on the downward slope of their career because they'd grown breasts and got acne, you know.
I was a star and I went to Disney once and I was very famous.
It was just tragic. Or they did Barbie commercials. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Then Barbie's legs. And,
you were nothing but trouble there, right?
Look at me, you know. I was not going to be in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I was this strange-looking, sort of Hebrew-looking child who just sort of laughed at everybody and
you made them all cry.
I thought the place was a joke, and I kept telling them it was. I was a bit of a rebel, you know. Like, so I sort of pretty much got kicked out. Yes, but I learned to do a little bit of everything at this place.
Yeah.
And some of the teachers were rather sweet.
Yeah.
It was sort of. I learned to tap dance, which has always been useful to me. I learned a little. It just is, because look, when in doubt. Was. It is an icebreaker, Bill.
It came in handy today.
Just in the Conti's way. Yeah.
I'm going to be working on that after the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what drove you towards stage work? Because, you know, when you first felt on stage, not really on stage, but, you know, you felt like you were on stage.
I was on my mother's windowsill.
Really?
That was my first stage. Do you used to do that? Stand on the windowsill and draw the curtains, and that was my stage. And I used to do the Tracey Ullman show. Actually, it was the Patty Ullman show. My sister had a show in my mum's bedroom. Therefore, I am a spin-off. Rather like the Simpsons were from my show. See, I was a character that span off from Patty Ullman's show and to do the Tracey Ullman show. So that was a stage, you know, my mum's windowsill. And I would just be everybody. I would be the lady that lived next door. I would be the woman that, you know, I would just, the woman in the village and everybody. I just began to impersonate everybody.
I read somewhere at 9 you were pretending you were a welfare wife with a husband in prison, which is an interesting, kind of leaning towards dark subject matter early on there.
It was. I loved documentaries. I loved the tragedy and poignancy of life. I was very, very inspired by Ken Loach films. I would watch documentaries and then I would just sit in front of my mirror, smoking and stuff, and saying, yeah, well, you know, my husband went to prison about 2 years ago, and I've got like 4 kids now, and we've got rats in the back room, and I've got fungus growing all over the floor, sort of mushroom things. And I thought, I just wanted to, you know, my mum used to tap on the door and go, stop talking to yourself, you know, and well, you're not being a woman with fungus growing on her floor again, are you?
You were...
I never wanted to be anyone glamorous, put it this way.
Yeah.
You know.
You lost your dad when you were 7, which was rough. And I was wondering, of all the voices that you know in your heart, do you remember his voice?
This is the Barbara Walters moment. I'm really American now, you know. Yeah. And then she starts again, and the camera comes in.
Can you do your dad? Let me rephrase that.
Tracy, he was from Poland, so he used to say sex instead of six.
Yeah.
My Tracy should be a big star.
Wow. Oh.
He used to say, he predicted.
He knew.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember his voice really well. And my mother is not Polish, but I remember all the people in his shop, and their voice used to make me stand on the counter in his shop and impersonate everybody and stuff.
So you made fun of the whole town, pretty much.
Yeah. And he had a woman who worked for him called Mrs. Haas. Tracy, you cut hairs. Listen, you cut hairs. Look at him, he's homosexual. And she was like, it was horrible. Like, look at you, you're a woman with a moustache. Stop picking on other people. It was horrible, Mrs. Haas. She let me shave her moustache eventually. Oh. She got really fond of me. Tracy, come, will you shave for me? It was rough losing my dad at 7, and it was pretty grim in our house, and it was me, my mum was left with 2 young kids, and laughter is a defence, it really is, and to cheer her up, I would stand on the, you know, windowsill and do a show, and to make her laugh was heaven, you know.
Yeah. You were in a couple musicals in London before you were even 20. Now, within 3 years, you won the London Drama Critics Award as the most promising actress for an improvisational comedy.
That was a big break because...
4 in a Million, it was called.
Yes,
right?
Yes, it was. See, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do theatre acting. I'd done my dance bit to get my union card, and then I decided I really wanted to study and, you know, go and do regional theatre and things. And this was a play, 4 in a Million. It was totally improvised and got just wonderful reviews and won the award. And then the BBC came and asked me to do a show.
Called what, 3 of a Kind, right?
3 of a Kind. Yeah, still working with numbers. 4 in a Million, 3 of a Kind.
You became, you know, a sensation. You became our Trace in the tabloids. Is that right?
God, yeah.
Yeah, she loves that. Huh?
Yeah. And I was very wary of doing sketch comedy or anything else. I really was a theatre actress, and the only examples I had at that point were like the Benny Hill girls.
You made fun of it. You did a character sending up Benny Hill. Didn't you do Jenny?
Jenny Hill?
No. What? This was your revenge.
I was like touching blokes' willies at bus stops, like doodle-doodle. Stuff like that, you know.
Let's talk about her a little more.
Yeah, that was a sketch show. They pretty much let us try anything we wanted to do, which was great.
Now, within a couple of years, you know, something would happen. You would soon become the first lady of the Fox Television Network.
Yes.
You pretty much launched the thing, and it was only a Sunday night network at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, this all came about because Jim Brooks came into your life.
Yes, yes. While I was pregnant, I met James L. Brooks, who is, you know, has an extraordinary record in television. You know, he created Mary Tyler Moore and Rhoda and Taxi, and we just hit it off. We got on very well, and he said, oh, I'd like to do a show with you when you've had your baby. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, he seems like a nice guy, you know. And everyone was like, do you realise how great this is, you know, if he wants to do a show? And I was like, oh, well, super, you know, let's see. And And really, it was like the Jim Brooks show. I mean, he was the big power at Fox. He got us the commitment, and it was like a girl who'd nobody ever heard of on a network that no one's ever seen, sort of thing. And
No pressure.
But he took me under his wing, really, and that was wonderful. And we stayed on for 3 years, 4 years,
won
and
Emmys
just
galore,
the first year, I think we did 37 shows, and it nearly killed me.
It's unheard of, yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, that's 22 is the limit these days, isn't it, for these shows?
Yeah, it was just a lot in that first year. But Jim protected me from the whole network thing. I mean, literally, they started like coming over to give note to something. Lock the studio doors. But boy, I got to experiment. I got to sing and dance and try everything, and it was an amazing time. But it was incredibly hard and intense and frightening.
But it was,
because Jim is the kind of guy, Jim Brooks, bless him, he'll get to the show Friday night, it's an hour before you tape, and he'll watch a run through and he'll go, wow, man, we don't have a show. And I'd be there like, I'd lost 9 pounds that week. I'm a Russian gymnast, I'm swinging on people's shoulders, I'm doing a scene with a monkey, and he's like, we don't have a show. God, they were tough on me. And I'd be little Pollyanna, I'd go, it'll be okay,
Went home and wept at night, didn't you?
And I used to come out sometimes and just completely make it up and just do something else.
Really?
Yeah. If something wasn't working, I think, what have you got to lose? Just go out there and just do something totally different. And if it saved it, I was the hero, and if it didn't, they were like, what are you doing? But you had to be a kamikaze,
You're a beautiful kamikaze. We'll have more with our Trace after this. You know who that man is? His name is Fred Kaz. Fred Kaz is the musical soul of Chicago's famed Second City.
Yes, of course.
He's a legend. He's a legend.
Dan Castellaneta always spoke of you so fondly.
That's nice.
I was just about to say, because you went, when you were looking for an ensemble for the Fox show, you went to Second City.
I did, because I had a theory about actors. I thought, in New York, they're so neurotic. In LA, they're not quite smart enough. I'm going to go with... I'm going to the middle. And I just think I do love actors from Chicago. I mean, I think Gary Sinise and Dan Castellaneta, there's something about... I don't know. I mean, they just have a great tradition of theatre and the Second City, and there's just something solid about people from there. I really like them.
The review, so you saw a review. Do you remember what that felt like?
I saw Dan Castellaneta in the Second City production, and he didn't make me laugh. He made me cry. He was so brilliant. He played like a blind comedian or something, and it was like a tragic piece, and it was the poignancy that got me. I thought, wow, this guy has to be in the show. And he came along the next day and auditioned for us and was terrible because he's so shy. I was like, I'm damn, and I thought, wow, guys, you don't get it. This guy's amazing. I just said I won't do the show without him. And he's a brilliant actor. I mean, he's been the voice of Homer Simpson for so many years, but he's like, he could just be anybody. He's an empty vessel and you fill him. I love adaptable actors like that.
And then you had Julie Kavner, who
Julie Kavner.
Thank you.
I impersonate her, and she says, Tracy, it doesn't sound like me at all. And she goes, and then, funniest is Julie impersonating me. Ew, I'm from England,
I love her. I love working with Julie.
Yeah,
I'm just crazy about Julie.
You guys did wonderful things together. I was thinking a whole new ensemble of characters of your own were introduced on that show. I always enjoyed Francesca, who was the pubescent daughter being raised by 2 gay men.
Yes.
Dan was one of them,
Dan, yes.
Sam McMurtry is that correct?
Sam McMurray.
McMurray, I'm sorry. And tell me, what's become of her? We haven't seen her.
This is my dad, and this is my William.
I know, and I remember when I was going on my first date, I used to play a 14-year-old, and my first date was Matthew Perry came along to play the part, and he was like, I don't know, 18 himself, and it was one of his first jobs, and he was really shy, you know. And I don't know, I imagine Francesca's still out there. I expect she works for a congressman or something now, has a lot of never gets sexually harassed and doesn't understand why. You got sexually harassed? I didn't. Still a virgin. Just a really nice person with integrity. I see her still out there. And William and Dave are in New York drinking wine, and I believe that they exist, my characters. I get so fond of some of them.
Where's
you know?
Kay? Kay is a beloved Kay.
I remember Kay.
Kay
Oh,
Clark.
she's marvellous, Mr. Zehme. She's marvellous. Mother's not so well, you know. Mother's been poorly, but mustn't crumble.
Still Kay's out there, you know. She's driving along on the moped, working in the bank.
And Kay sells sanitary napkins and stamps at her desk.
You know those kind of girls, those kind of ladies. And there was a woman like that in the office I worked in once, and I realised she just wanted contact with some of the young girls, you know.
Need a sanitary napkin? I've got one. Nurse, her period, shocking things.
Oh, just so someone had talked to her. Oh, kills me.
Happily, we got to follow Kay on through the years into the Tracy Takes On series on HBO.
Oh, I'll always do Kay. Yeah, I own that character.
Yeah.
See, that was the sad thing after I did Tracey Ullman show, and then I started to do Tracy Takes On, and they said, well, you don't own those characters, Fox does, so I can't be Francesca anymore.
You did hear.
I know. If Fox sees this, they'll be... No, but I suppose I could have negotiated. I thought that was rather odd, and then I realised that the one character I, you know, had always had in my contract that, you know, I'd always played in England was Kay. So I just created a load more.
Kay continued her life of desperation, I guess,
Yes.
sweet desperation.
Yes.
And I'm thinking of a moment, we may want to look at something here, from Tracy Takes On. She had become pen pals with a mass murderer on death row, and only to be summoned to a meeting with the convict's highly strung defense attorney, yes, Sidney Cross, who also might look familiar. Why don't you take a look at this?
Oh, Kay, so nice to meet you. Thanks for coming down on a Saturday. What's all this about, Miss Cross? Am I in some sort of trouble?
No, sit. I understand you're pen pals with a Mr. Kurt Allen Rasmussen.
Yes, but it's not a crime to write to a poor lonely soul on death row, is it?
Oh, no. Offbeat, kooky, maybe a little needy, but it's certainly not a crime. How would you like to marry him?
Marry him?
Yes, I talked to him about it. He's all for it. He thinks you're a doll. So, what about it, Kay? Can I rely on you, gal pal?
Well, no, I mean, I'm much too busy with my job at the bank and looking after my invalid mother.
The thing is, if you marry Kurt, they might not execute him on Sunday night. At least drive up to San Quentin with me and talk to him. And if you still don't want to marry him, that's fine. That's your decision. I won't pressure you, Kay. That's not my way.
Your characters must be like your children. I was thinking, you know, how do you love them equally? How do you...
I keep all their wigs in boxes, and I don't do the characters, and I take 5-year breaks between shows, and I always know I want to go back and work again when I start taking them out of boxes like little cats and talking to them. Hello, Kay.
Hello, Tracy, how are you?
Oh, I'm all right, you know, I've had another baby.
Have you? Yes, marvellous. I'm a virgin, you know.
Yes, I know, Kay. You won't have a baby. And then,
Hi there, Ruby comes along, and I think, I don't know,
Ruby.
hey,
you know, I'm not gonna... Seriously, I remember Mabel looked in the door once and saw me doing this. She went, Mum, he said, you're talking to your wigs again. It's time to do another show. That's sweet. But I kind of know when I start wanting... Or when I'm reading the kids' stories and I put too much into it. You know, I know that I need to get out and work a bit, you know.
Speaking in terms of characters being children, you and your show basically gave birth to The Simpsons.
Mm-hmm.
How did that come to be? I mean, how I believe you said I breastfed those little devils at some point.
Yes, I breastfed the yellow people. Yes, it was just in the beginning of the show we decided we'd like some animated segments, and I remember we knew of Matt Groening's books Life in Hell, to buy them in that shop on Melrose, and then I remember having a meeting and Matt came in and said if I did something for the show it should be something brand new, and he showed me a drawing of Marge with the blue hair, and we all looked at it and we said, wow, that's great, you know, we like that. And so it started off as, I think, as little 3-minute segments in the middle of the show.
Right.
And Julie and Dan used to do the voices because I was too busy. Probably I was the busiest one, couldn't do a voice on it. And I remember they're very rudimentary, the first Simpsons. You look at it, it's like it's like someone flipped the pages of a book, you know, and then it got smoother, and they said, oh, we're going to spin it off, we're going to give it its own show. And I remember thinking, gosh, you know, I wonder if that can work.
Yeah.
And boy, it did.
Yeah, it did, didn't it?
Yeah, I wish I could get 3 minutes on their show now.
Yeah.
I'm not bitter. Hey, they don't finance bitter in this town. No, I get my little piece of them. Don't worry, every bubble bath that's sold. I get like this much. Half a bubble.
Oh, my. We'll have more with Tracy the Benevolent after this. This is the big book of comedy, in case you were wondering. But how about a little bit of personal exploration in terms of your character? Where does your energy come from? I mean, you've got great. I don't know, how are you wired anyhow? This is a dream to be sitting next to you.
Oh,
and all. Yeah.
I just had a quadruple espresso.
Oh, well, I
had to go home and put a black bag over my head. I do have good energy. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I've never done drugs. I've never even seen cocaine, and I've lived in LA for 20 years. Why is that? Isn't that weird? No one's ever offered it to me. I smoked a joint at a party when I was 15 and thought I was a pixie and drove everyone mad. I was like, I was the panic was going, how do you stop this? I'm really scared. I'm a pixie. Oh, shut up. I realise I can't mess with my neurological balance.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I have to have a very fine balance. I just enjoy laughing.
Yeah.
I really do. I've been married for nearly 20 years to somebody who makes me howl.
Alan.
Alan.
Yeah.
And, I mean, just watching the Winter Olympics with my husband, I wet the sofa. It kills me. So I really enjoy laughing.
Yeah.
And my kids make me laugh, and I'm a pretty clean living person.
You said once that limiting yourself to one personality takes some effort.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does, I know. I couldn't do a sitcom or something where I was the same person all the time. Perhaps when I get older I might be able to, but I don't know. I'd find that rather boring. I'm a happy schizophrenic, Bill. I really am. You know, it's not like a Sybil thing with me. I love it.
No, you hate method acting, do you not?
Some of them are great, and
Yeah.
some of them are just, you know.
Motivation.
Sometimes, and an actress is more than a woman, but an actor is less than a man. Do you know who said that? Meryl Streep, when I first met her, and in some cases it's so true. I think us girls are so grateful to get a job because it's a male-dominated business. And some of the actors, it's like, name me 3 women in their 50s that have the career of Gene Hackman, Sean Connery, who does everything like this with a... I hear it say it one more time with a greying ponytail. He could be a Russian submarine commander with that Scottish accent. And then he could be in the jungle curing cancer and he's still Scottish. Oh, Sir Sean, excuse me. I don't believe in... You can tap a woman, it doesn't matter. I'm not bitter, as I said, because they don't finance bitter in this town. I don't know where I went off on that riff. I don't know why I started picking on Sean.
We love these riffs here. So it was 1996 that you began doing Tracy Takes On as a regular series. Now, and we hinted a little bit about some of the new characters, but these are some of the most amazing characters you'd ever dreamt up. Whoever inhabited you.
Yeah,
Linda Granger, the washed-up TV actress who prizes are
so wonderful.
Yeah. She had the lip collagen and the has a very big homosexual fan base, apparently.
Oh, they're wonderful. They're my people, Bill. And I'm 100% cancer-free. You know people that make a career out of having had cancer? And they're awesome. You know, there's more TV shows to do from it. And I like Linda, though. I see people like her having lunch, you know, with their friends with the collagen lips. And then they have Botox. So it's like, your dog is dead. Oh my God, my dog's dead? My dog is dead? It looks bloody terrible. And no one says anything. You know, they suck a bit out your ass, shove it in your lip, and we all pretend there's nothing wrong.
Yeah. I love a woman of yours named Fern Rosenthal.
The Jews. Let's get on to the Jews.
From Long Island, now of Boca Raton.
Boca Raton. Yeah. I love Jews. I love New York Jews. I first came to America. I came to New York, and I was making a record. They don't know. And this fabulous New York Jewish girl called Katie Volk said, "Do you want to meet my family in Baldwin?" I said, "Okay." She goes, "Well, my mother will come to the door, and she's going to go, 'Welcome to Baldwin.'" And she did. Petty and Freddie, welcome to Baldwin. She came to the door, and it was like this sort of surge of energy. And Freddie did magic tricks.
Oh, yeah?
And he'd, like, take a coin from behind your ear and stuff. And, you know, it was just wearing a toupee. Oh, my God. And I said, "Can he take a rabbit out of the hat?" And Katie went, "He's not that advanced." It was that kind of, you know, the disdain for each other. They love each other, and yet they were so rude to each other. I was just... I love Jews.
I think we got to look at a classic Fern moment here. Her beloved husband, well, they seem to be in love. Harry, played by Michael Tucker.
Michael Tucker, the greatest.
He's tremendous. And,
Great Jew.
He plays a great...
It's one of the top Jews.
He is a top Jew.
He's a top Jew.
Harry's had a heart attack, and Fern is just found out, and she's bursting into the hospital room.
"Harry, can you hear me? Oh, look at all these wires. You have tubes in your pick up your tuchus. Oh, this must be costing a fortune. That blue thing has stopped dripping. Oh my God, the goddamn thing isn't even connected.
Could somebody get in here, please? My husband has come unplugged.
Harry, where did this thing go? You're losing vital fluids. Oh.
Miss Rosenthal, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm trying to save my husband's life. You want to give me a hand? Where does this thing go? I haven't you got to that chapter yet? Oh, God, why did they send me a kid? Get me Dr. Goldstein. Get me any Jew!
Calm down, Mrs. Rosenthal. That's a backup IV. It's a spare in case of emergency.
Oh.
It's exhausting.
It looks like it's a lot of fun, but it looks like it is
It's exhausting, yeah. I love being Fern, though. It's great.
I always enjoy it when you explain the royal family to us. And you've met them more than a few times. You met, I believe you told me a long time ago, being in line to meet Princess Di and Chuck when they were together.
Diana, I had a lot of time for. I liked her.
Yeah.
And she was really nice to my little girl. Mabel met Princess Diana when she was like 6, and Mabel always said outrageous things. She told Jane Fonda to shut up on an aeroplane once. Shut up, you're boring. Leave my mummy alone. Terrible, one of those kids, you know? And Princess Diana was in a receiving line. She said, "Oh, hello, Mabel," and, you know, and she said, "You're not wearing a crown," she said, "and you've got short hair. Princesses have long hair." And she was so sweet to her. She went, "Oh, I left my crown at the palace," and so she was so nice to her. But the rest of them, oh, please, you know. The French had the right idea. You see, I don't like the class system. I never have. I don't understand why we pay people millions of pounds to be better than us. Germans, as it happens, they are the Saxe-Coburgs.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. I mean, the Queen talks like she has a broom stuck up her arse. And she's perhaps, you know, they live in extreme luxury. I mean, you know, God rest her soul, Princess Margaret's just died. I mean, heaven has to be an anticlimax. It has to be after the life she was given on Earth by the British taxpayers. Getting political now, you know, but you're not Charlie Rose. Sorry, thought I was with Charlie Rose for a minute. Sorry, I've got to do the political stuff with Charlie, right, darling? Right. Keep it funny with Bill. Yes, okay.
More with her royal comic presence after this.
Fabulous.
It's a classy show, isn't it?
It's classy, a piano.
You don't really get a piano on any old show, you know? Yeah, no. We've got the original Second City piano. That's what we've got here. Now, ever since you remember, I think, Woody Allen was a big influence to you. And you used to write him letters when you first came over, didn't you?
I was so taken with Broadway Danny Rose when I first moved to America. It celebrated the loser.
Yeah.
And I didn't think Americans celebrated losers. I think they do now. But, you know, him playing that tragic kind of Broadway agent with all those, you know, loser clients, and it just made me cry, like Dan Castellaneta when I first saw him at the Second City. You know, it's that poignancy that's funny to me. And so I used to start writing to Woody Allen when I was pregnant, you know, in LA. "Dear Woody, I'm in my hot tub. Why wouldn't you let Mia come and sit in the hot tub for a while and I could take over for one of the movies?" Little did we know what was about to go. And just sort of, you know, and then I managed to get a video to him via
Julie Kavner.
Oh, yeah?
And
because he never responded to these letters, these entities.
No, well, would he, you know? And then I got a message through to an agent I had at the time that he said, "Woody doesn't know when he will use you, but he knows he will, and he wants you to know that he thinks you're funny from the inside." I know, I was pumping gas at the time, and I was on my side. I went, wow. And that meant so much to me.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
It was Bullets Over Broadway was the
That's
break.
right. Then he finally called me to play a little part in Bullets Over Broadway. And it was really weird because the day before I'd been offered a special for some network with the Olsen twins in Vancouver as a Christmas special, and I could just see me and Mabel or something in woolen hats bobbing round a lake going, "Oh, hear those sleigh bells jingling." And, you know, really not my cup of tea, and I'm thinking, well, ugh. And that's this business, darling. One day it's the Olsen twins, the next day Woody calls, you know. I was getting a bit desperate.
You were like this
The
imperious...
Olsen twins. Okay.
Yeah.
What age are they going to be when they appear in Playboy? Let's take the bets now. You know it's going to happen at some point in their career. You know.
Yeah, Hef's made the call.
37. I'm saying it now. 37 years old, the Olsen twins. Brazilians! They'll be doing Brazilians. Sorry, I have to say that now because I predict.
I know you do. How was being directed by that man?
Woody?
Woody, yes.
Doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I've heard this.
He's, you know, but that's supposedly good because if he doesn't say anything to you, you know it's all right. I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, he does everything in one shot and stuff. He doesn't do all that. I hate making movies. They're slow and they're boring. They can be pretentious. They take 3 hours to set up a shot and then everyone's made up and, "Oh, I'm in a movie," and, "Oh, you be in that light and you be in that light." And I've been so inhibited by movie making. That's why I love TV. It's like, get on with it, quick. We haven't got any money, hurry up. Like this show. Woody would just, you know, it would take 3 hours to set up a shot, but then you've got 8 pages of dialogue, 9 characters, and you just do it. Everyone can talk at the same time because he sets up the sound, and it's liberating. It's fantastic. And you're dealing with this brilliant script. So you're not saying, oh, this is crap. You're not doing it for the money. There's no money. But
for the art.
It's wonderful to work with him.
He brought you back, and unfortunately, this scene I was sorry to hear. In Everyone Says I Love You, you apparently sang, you serenaded
I even forgot what I sang.
Alan Alda, a song called "I Need a Little Sugar in My Bowl."
No, I want a hot dog for my roll. It's an old blues number, it's very saucy.
Well, they're very similar if you think
Sugar
about
in my bowl. What's this book of comedy? It's just some wanky beige binder that he picked up in Fred Siegel when he got to LA. Look, the book of comedy. There's nothing in it.
There are pages. There's some pages over
This is
there.
hilarious!
There are
You're a phony,
pages.
Bill Zehme.
Look,
It's just a prop.
there are words, I swear to God. All right. All right, well, let's move on from that.
An expose.
So you want a little hot dog in your roll?
I wanted a little hot dog in my roll, and it got cut.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
You sang
Just
that to Alan
work with-
Alda?
I sang that to Alan Alda. It was wonderful. But just to work with Woody and spend time with him, therefore gaining his confidence, and then he offered me the lead role in Small Time Crooks.
Exactly
so he
right.
obviously, you know, had kicked the wheels on the
You,
cars a little bit.
exactly right. Got my book all messed up is what you did.
Oh, come on. Stop whinging. Don't be a puff.
You know, really. Listen, so you tell me about Frenchie. Frenchie Winkler was the character, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And I
Pinch
just
it for-
loved wearing those green leggings in the first scene. They were like, talk about the vagina monologues. My God, it was like, the outline was incredible, the VPL. And I thought, that's it, you know, bang, first scene of a movie, you know, I'm up there, slightly overweight in a pair of green leggings. That's what I want to see, it's reality. And
It's nouveau riche gone wild, right? Is that
yes,
sort of...
they were a couple who he does a bank job and that goes wrong, and then she starts making cookies and they realize that the cookies are making them a fortune, and it's, you know, be careful what you wish for. They became incredibly rich, and then their marriage broke up and all sorts of things go wrong. And to play nouveau riche with Woody was just divine. And I love that Woody just chooses the right person for the part. It's not if you're big box office, if you're beautiful enough. It's just the right person for the part, and it's, you know, it's a pleasure.
You worked with Robert Altman as well.
Briefly, yeah.
Yeah,
I was part of that sort of debacle of ready to wear pret-a-porter.
You played the British Vogue editor. A lot of air kissing going on, right?
Yes. It was a great experience going to Paris in '93 and seeing all the couture and pret-a-porter shows, and what a scene that is, you know, all the models and it was quite an experience. Because I love fashion. It's one of my passions. I love it.
I can tell. You despise mini skirts, I heard. Is that true? Is that...
For the over 29s.
Yeah. Clothes are a big part of each character you become. You have to pick each person's
so many
wardrobe.
different clothes, yeah.
Which is, now this has grown into, in fact, a TV show on Oxygen called, I love the title of this show you have, Visible Panty Lines.
Yeah.
Which is, again, a sort of a Woody Allen coinage, isn't it? For
Well,
Mandy
everyone
Hall?
knows that women all know that expression of visible panty line. I thought it was a great name for a woman's
VPL.
show. Yeah, and it's very experimental. And it's in my office, and I didn't want to do a show right now where I have to dress up. I just got so sick of putting the rubber on my face. I would literally just go AWOL if they came near me with the glue anymore. She's run off! You know, I would just run out the caravan. I couldn't do it anymore. So I thought, well, let's try and do a show where you are you know.
Is there a performer's equivalent to a VPL, which was showing a little bit too much, that kind of thing? I mean, when you see a performer, can you spot their performance VPL?
God, this is a very intense Bravo-like question, isn't it? I mean, I dropped out of school at 14. Bloody hell, give me a break here, Bill. A performer's VPL.
Yeah, well, you made fun of my book.
And I love that it's called The Giant Book of Comedy. It's a little puffy thing.
I want Naugahyde for the next one.
It's all soft. It's like a little teddy bear. It's all soft.
It is good. You know, yeah.
I love teasing Bill. When
Well,
I
we
first
go
met
back.
you, he's that kind of nice goomba-y kind of bloke lets you tease him.
I'm a
He's the
goomba.
kind of guy that would let you cut his hair. You know, like, you know, you go, let's cut your hair and put mascara on you, Bill. He'd go, okay.
Yeah. This is kind of like the equivalent of that today, huh?
Yeah, Bill, he's like a big teddy bear. I wouldn't have sex with him, but he lets me cut his hair. No, I'd have sex with you, Bill.
Yeah.
I
Really?
would. Yeah, I would if I wasn't married.
We got that.
You want to try and feel very ego, Bill?
Thank you.
It's come to this.
That's the nicest thing anyone ever said to me.
I'll have sex with you if you let me cut your hair.
Well, you know, anyway, now I
So
hate...
you like women?
I love the women.
You love women. See,
Yeah.
some men don't.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're angry about it.
Especially some guys in comedy. They don't get it. They don't get women. They
A lot
don't
of
give us
angry men
shot.
in comedy,
There's a
yeah.
lot of angry men. There's an angry bachelor group that don't get women. And they're normally in late night TV.
Well,
Well, they have this whole block about the female side of life.
yeah, that's true. We'll be back in a second. Well, can you believe it? Other people have questions for you?
Good.
We're going to go to the audience.
I was wondering, when you sleep at night and you dream, do you become the characters that you do at work?
Oh, that's ooh, psychology today. Ooh. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I can't get rid of some of the energy from the characters, and I'll talk to my husband like this the whole time. What's the matter with you? You know, I'm like, oh, you know, sometimes I have to really try and clear my brain from them, but I don't dream in character, I don't think.
No? You don't sleepwalk and...
No, I'm a very light sleeper. I'm like this. my husband goes to sleep, it's like this. Good night, baby. Come on. I've been married 19 years. There's no secrets. And, no, but I'm a very light sleeper.
Thank you.
Well, that explains a lot.
I was wondering if you happen to collect clown paintings, because I paint clowns, if you were interested.
You know I'm going to savage you for this. Are you serious?
You know,
It's
one
always the
starving
clowns.
actor to...
It's always the I hate clowns. I'll be really honest. Oh, don't start doing the clown thing. Oh, no, he's doing the clown thing! Clowns and mime artists, I don't know. No, I mean, I like some of the clowns in Cirque du Soleil and things. I think that's kind of clever. And I love Bill Irwin. Genius, Full Moon, Bill Irwin. But clown paintings, are they like on velvet? Are they like really crappy but funny?
Come
Can
to
I
my
come
car
to your
after the
house? You think I'm really going to leave here and go to your house and look at clown
If
paintings?
you see my house, you'll
like
wanna help me
I'm
pay rent.
living like a loser? Oh, don't do the clown thing. Come back. He's so sweet. He's so sweet.
Oh, it's sad.
I'd love to see them, seriously, if they're like bad clown paintings. I like
They're
stuff
great.
like that.
They're great. They're great, and I really need the grocery money.
All right, I'll have a look in. You're
Thank
so
you.
adorable.
All right.
I love young people. Who likes clowns? Aren't you uncomfortable with clowns? Hello.
Hello. Well, you know, at the end of your TV shows, you're always like telling people, "Go home, go home." Does that mean
Don't
you're?
do it like that. Don't do it like that. Herrick with the little arms. I don't like that. I don't like that. Get
my
it right, mate.
impression
I
of
don't need
you.
traffic cop. I don't like that.
Oh, like that. Okay.
Yes, better.
Does that mean you're sick of people?
I didn't know how to end things. That's how the go home thing started. I can't tell jokes, and I couldn't sort of resolve anything, so I just go, well, go home, go home. And we got a note from the Fox executive saying, it's really unfriendly. We feel it doesn't make Tracy accessible in American homes. And then Jim Brooks just said, lock the studio doors, get the network out of it. And you remembered it, people remember it.
All right, would you do it? You gotta say it. Tell him.
But let me mess with your hair first, because he's so terrible! Go home! Hold my radio mic. Jump! Jump!
That was good.